First, in the previous video, you have known about the age of extremes. Now we are going to know the main causes for the age of extremes was World War I and World War II, as we know. So now we are going to know the causes for World War I and World War II. Now, what are the causes of World War I and World War II? Now here we are going to see the World War I has happened during the time period of 1914 to 1918. These are the images of World War I, Nana. Now, World War II. It occurred from 1939 to 1945. These are the images of World War II. Mostly for any war, there will be two types of causes. One is general cause and the other one is immediate cause. Now, general causes for both the world wars. Aggressive nationalism, imperialism, secret alliances, militarism. And immediate causes were murder of Archduke Ferdinand for World War I and Hitler's attack on Poland was the immediate cause for World War II. Okay, Nana? So these are the general causes and the immediate causes for both the world wars. Now, what are the general causes? Let us see. Aggressive nationalism. The ideology of nationalism is positive impulse. Ante na desam, what you say, my one nation, one country, my nation, another nationalistic feeling. And that is a very positive impulse. It gives us positive energy. But aggressive nationalism created a pride in oneself, in everyone, and made people hate others. Aggressive nationalism created pride in oneself. Ante nenu goppa, na ఊరు గొప్ప, నా దేశం గొప్ప, నా రేస్ గొప్ప అన్న ఫీలింగ్ లోకి మనుషులు తీసుకెళ్లిపోయింది. And this made the people start to hate the people of other race and other country. Now for this, the best example I can tell you is when Andhra and Telangana got separated. When the agitations of Andhra and Telangana were happening, then many people, Telangana people used to demoralize and demotivate Andhrites there in Hyderabad, right? We have heard many in the news. So similarly, this aggressive nationalism means this is an aggressive form. Aggressive means kruranga untundadi. It will fill us with lot of pride, ego, and it always makes us feel that we are the best, we are the great. So this aggressive nationalism created a pride in oneself, in everyone, and made people hate others. With this feeling, what happens? But natural. When pride and ego comes, what happens, Nana? We just go into a negative thought. And that negative thought made these people think to destroy the other countries. Means, okay, we only should be there. Our race is the greatest race. Remaining races must be like slaves for us. Okay? They should be like slaves to us. So, this type of feeling slowly built in the states of Europe, Nana. This type of feeling of aggressive nationalism slowly started to build up in Europe, and especially in Germany and Italy. Okay, and it gave birth to Nazism in Germany. That is a race, Nazist, that is one race of people, and fascism in Italy. Ante Italy lo fascistlu, Germany lo Nazis. This race of people started to grow. Okay. And this ideology of unlimited nationalism always created an atmosphere of fear and war. ఇప్పుడు యుద్ధం ఒకళ్ళొకళ్ళని పోల్చుకుంటూ ఒకళ్ళొకళ్ళని కంపేర్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఏం జరుగుతుంది? What happens when we start comparing ourselves with others? We feel ego. The other person also will have the same ego, no? Everyone have the same ego. So when they have that egoistic feelings, obviously they are ready to kill each other. And killing each other means it's nothing but war. War means nothing but fear in the society, because sometimes this war happens between the leaders of the country, but ultimately who are the sufferers means the people are the sufferers. The general common people are the sufferers. Next comes imperialism. What is imperialism? Imperialism means occupying of other countries and using their resources for the development of their motherland. For example, Britishers occupied India, right? Britishers occupied India and they took away all our wealth to their country. and they started developing their country rather than developing our country. We were dying into poverty, and those people were happily developing their country, their roads, their structures, their physical amenities, and everything started to develop. So imperialism means occupying other countries and using their resources for the development of their motherland. Now, industrial revolution has come, Nana. Industrial revolution prevailed by then, and when industrial revolution developed, European countries wanted, like Britain, Germany and France, they wanted markets for their products. Now, machines have started production. Priorly, man used to do the production part, but later on when industrial revolution means manufacturing of machines have started, and when manufacturing of machines have started, ultimately the goods production increases. So when product is being increased, they need markets to sell their products. So this led to the search of colonies, and to protect those markets, prepare those products also, they need lot of raw materials. And in any country, we have some mineral resource or we have some raw material, it will expire if we use it to the maximum, right? If we use it to the maximum, a day will come when everything will come to an end, right? So these people, they started to search for safe opportunities in the colonies. Means ప్రపంచంలోకి రావడం స్టార్ట్ చేశారు. And one way we can say that they were searching for markets to sell their goods and take the raw materials from us and prepare in their country, and whatever expenditure occurs, for example, if one piece of cloth is being manufactured for 10 rupees, they would sell it for 100 rupees to us, wherein the cotton would be taken from our country at a cost of 1 rupee. The cotton would be taken at a cost of 1 rupee. They would prepare a cloth, and again they would sell the same cloth to us for 10 rupees, and we would like fools buy from them, telling that it is imported cloth. Priorly, when I was small, we all used to have that craze of imported goods. Any good that used to come from America or China or Japan, we used to be fascinated by seeing the quality and all. But actually that same quality, the raw material goes from none other than our own country. So, thus by the end of 19th century, there was a race for colonies. Now, everyone wants market, no? Simple example I'll tell you. Before Reliance Jio came, Tata was the telecom company, right? You used to have Tata, Airtel, Hutch. Yes or no? When Jio came, that time what used to happen? Tata, Airtel, Hutch used to give mobile at a very costly price, right? Using a mobile was a costly affair in those days, because for incoming calls also we used to pay money. Okay? But when Jio came, means Reliance came into the market, even a rickshaw puller started buying the mobile, because incoming was free, mobiles were cheap. So slowly expansion means going into the market. Now slowly, they have expanded so much that all these companies have come down. So similarly, these countries, all these European countries, they wanted to expand, just like Reliance wanted to expand in the telecom market of India. These people also wanted to expand their colonies, and they wanted to get more raw materials and more markets to sell their own goods. And this made this race for colonies, and this race for search for new colonies, new markets and raw materials led to wars. This race అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఎంపైర్ సృష్టించుకుంటారమ్మా, దాని తర్వాత ఏమవుతుంది, ఆ ఎంపైర్ ని కాపాడేటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, యుద్ధ వాతావరణం ఎప్పుడు ఉంటుంది. ఎవ్రీ టైమ్ వీ హ్యావ్ దట్ ఫియర్, సమ్వన్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు కమ్ అండ్ occupy us. So this fear, made people getting ready, always be prepared for wars. Atmosphere of war was always prevalent in the society at that time. Secret alliances. What are secret alliances? Secret alliances played a very vital role in both the world wars, Nana. Secret alliances played a very vital role in both the world wars. What are those? All the European colonies wanted to secure their colonies. All the European powers wanted to secure their colonies. So, what did they do? They made secret alliances with their familiar countries. Okay. Simple Rajaniti amma idi. This is just a political phenomena. Pakkanvadi Setruvu, Pakkanvadi koda na Setruvu tan Setruvu anukomma. Tan nakemavutadu? Mitrudu avutadu. Avuna? If my enemy is an enemy to the next person also, we both are having a similar enemy. So obviously what will happen? We both will become friends and we will try to capture our enemy. So this is a political strategy, you can say. So at that time, two major alliances were formed. What are those two major alliances? One is the Triple Entente. Triple Entente. What is that? That was Britain, France and Russia. These three countries became a group. Britain, France and Russia. These three countries became a group. And the second one was Triple Alliance. Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria and Hungary were just like Secunderabad and Hyderabad at that time. So Germany, Austria, Hungary and Italy. These three became a group. Ante Triple Entente okati, Triple Alliance okati. These two groups were formed and these were secret alliances. Okay. Both these two alliances were jealous and suspicious about each other. Both these alliances, Entente and Alliance, both of them were suspicious. Always, they used to think, this fellow is going to do something to me. Ante నిద్రలేని రాత్రులు గడిపారన్నమాట ఈ 6 దేశాలు ఒక రకంగా చెప్పాలంటే. So here in this image you will see the red color is Triple Alliance and the blue color is Triple Entente. Can you see, ma? The red color is the Triple Alliance and the blue color is the Triple Entente. These were the two groups that were formed. Now, militarism. Militarism is the third general cause. What is that? From 1880 to 1914, the military expenditure of these 6 big powers, that is Britain, France, Russia, Germany, Austria, Hungary and Italy. All these 6 powers, they just concentrated on developing their military force, their arms, their ammunitions, because militarism, the belief that a country should maintain a strong military capability and be prepared to use it aggressively to defend or promote national interest. Militarism ante eppudu మన దేశం మీదకి ఎవరు యుద్ధానికి వచ్చినా we should be mentally, physically and economically and resourcefully prepared to give a counter attack. Okay. Now for example, China is getting ready. Is India sitting quiet and getting scared? No. India also is getting ready to give a counter attack. So every country has its own national defense strategy, Nana. So during this period, that is from 1818 to 1914, the military expenditure of 6 big powers increased by 300%. Amma. See in the left side I have given you a chart. In 1880 it was 132. Okay. And then it went to 158 million pounds. Nana. This is the amount. 132 million pounds was spent in 1880 for military purpose. And that increased to 158 pounds. Then it went to 205 pounds. Then it went to 288 million pounds. Then it reached to 397 million pounds. Each of the countries built massive standing armies, Amma. Massive standing armies and competed with each other in increasing their armaments. Armaments ante emi ledu, arms and ammunitions. Okay. Water tanks, buffer tanks, those tanks, these tanks, military tanks untai kada. Rockets, missiles, all these things, they started investing more on it. And equally, they were also having the intention to build a strong mindset to the people that whenever a war comes, they should be mentally and physically prepared to sacrifice their life for their country. Ante war annadi desam kosam. Desam ante mana mother lantidi. So we have to sacrifice our lives. They used to even screw up the people's mind in such a way that people also used to get ready whenever the wars were into occurrence. Because without soldiers, there is no war, Nana. They need people to have war, na? So they used to even build the mindset of people to support the wars. Special causes for Second World War. Now you have seen the general causes for both the world wars. Now we are going to see the special causes for Second World War. Treaty of Versailles. Treaty of Versailles. It was concluded in 1919 after World War I, Amma, between victorious powers, that is Britain, France and Russia. They made this treaty with Germany. Okay. Actually World War I lo Germany ఓడిపోయిందన్న. ఈ victorious powers తో Germany, Italy, Austria, Hungary 3 దేశాలు ఓడిపోయినాయి. కానీ Britain, France and Russia targeted Germany after World War I. They targeted Germany and special treaty was written, and the main aim of this treaty was nothing but to weaken Germany both financially and even in the military aspects. అంటే ఒక దేశాన్ని మనం బానిసగా మార్చుకోవాలంటే ఒకటి ఫైనాన్షియల్ గా దాన్ని దెబ్బతీయాలి, రెండోది దాని మిలిటరీ పవర్ ని మనం వీక్ చేయాలి. So in this treaty there were so many conditions laid, like Germany had to hand over the colonies. So once when we hand over the colonies, obviously market is going into the hands of Britain and France and Russia, right? So they had to hand over the colonies, and then they had to reduce their military. See, if any country is occupying the other country, obviously it will lay some rules and regulations. You have to follow my rules and regulations. You have to maintain this army here. Ee post daggara army untaniki velledu. This boundary no one should safeguard. It is under our coverage annattuga they start to try, and they try to hold and put powers on us because they don't want us to think. But this mindset of Britain, Russia and France had brought lot of aggressiveness in Germans, and they also Germany had to pay territorial penalties amma, ante they had to leave few areas and give them to Britain and France permanently. Okay, this is your place. ఒక రాజు ఒక రాష్ట్రాన్ని ఒక దేశాన్ని ఆక్యుపై చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, నేను నీ భూభాగంలో ఇంతవరకు నేను వచ్చాను, ఇంతవరకు దిస్ ఇస్ మై ప్లేస్ అని ఆక్యుపై చేసుకుంటారు కదా. ఈ టైంలో ఏంటంటే ఇది దిస్ ఇస్ నాట్ ఎంపరర్స్ టైమ్ అండ్ కింగ్స్ టైమ్. సో దట్ టైమ్ దేర్ వేర్ ఫ్యూ అగ్రిమెంట్స్ రిటన్. ఓకే, ఫర్ ఫ్యూ ఇయర్స్ యూ కెన్ యూజ్ దిస్, ఫర్ ఫ్యూ ఇయర్స్ యూ కెన్ హ్యావ్ కంట్రోల్ ఓవర్ దిస్ పీస్ ఆఫ్ ల్యాండ్ అన్నట్టుగా దే యూస్ టు హ్యావ్ దీస్ టెరిటోరియల్ పెనాల్టీస్ as huge war indemnities, and huge war indemnity was paid by Germany to these 3 countries. Britain, France, Russia కి చాలా లక్షల్లో డబ్బులు కట్టింది. ఏది, యుద్ధం చేశాము మేము మీతో ఓడిపోయాం కాబట్టి we are paying you as penalty. Recently Trump told no, we should ask indemnity from China because of corona. So because every country economically goes back when issues like corona or issues like war happens. So the same thing happened, and these harsh terms of this treaty created a reaction in Germany which led to the rise of Hitler, the great leader Hitler. And Hitler's decision led to Second World War. That we'll see further. What was that decision which Hitler took that led to the Second World War? Okay, Nana? So this is the image where Treaty of Versailles was signed, and this is the image of Treaty of Peace. Actually it was given the term Treaty of Peace, but actually it was not Treaty of Peace. It was the treaty to, జర్మనీని తొక్కేయడానికి ఇది ఒక ట్రీటీ ఉపయోగపడింది. They wanted to crush Germany. They were not targeting Italy and Austria and Hungary. They were targeting only Germany. Failure of League of Nations also is the next cause. What is that? The treaty also set up League of Nations in the year 1920. League of Nations ani oka chinna society lantidi okati form chesaru to prevent wars in future, because World War I itself has given lot of loss to the whole world. World War I valle people have suffered a lot. So Woodrow Wilson, the then President of America, played a vital role in its formation. America was clever in those days also, Nana. Not only in these days. America is always clever even in those days. So the President of America, Woodrow Wilson, helped out in forming out this small association or society called League of Nations. After that, after World War II, UNO was formed. Ante oka desaniki inko desanto emana issues unte we all go to the UNO, we tell that, అంటే ఒక పంచాయతీ లాంటిది. ఇప్పుడు మన ఊర్లో గ్రామంలో రెండు కుటుంబాల మధ్యలో గొడవలు జరుగుతున్నాయి అంటే ఏం చేస్తారు? You go to a పంచాయతీ పెద్ద and you speak to him and he settles the dispute between both of you. So League of Nations also is a similar type of organization formed in the year 1920 with the guidance of Mr. Woodrow Wilson. His image is there in the slide. And the main agenda of this association was to eliminate wars through collective security and disputes between the countries. I told you, any dispute between one country and the other country, League of Nations వెళ్ళాలన్నమాట. They would decide. They would discuss, talk, hear from both the parties and then finalize the issue and settle it peacefully. So, even though it took a lot of preventive measures to maintain peace, eventually it failed to prevent Germany from violating the agreement and start aggressions on other countries. So Germany eventually came out of League of Nations in 1939 and violated and started doing suppressions on other countries. అంటే వేరే దేశాల మీదకి యుద్ధానికి వెళ్ళడం స్టార్ట్ చేసింది. The most interesting part is Woodrow Wilson was the main brain behind the League of Nations, but America was not a member of League of Nations. America was not the member of League of Nations. So clever Americans are. Now, the first meeting of the Assembly of League of Nations took on 15th November 1920 at Sala de la Reformation in Geneva. Sala de la Reformation in Geneva. This is the symbol of League of Nations. This is the image of their first meeting. See, these are the images of League of Nations. Now, let us go for the immediate cause of First World War. Murder of Archduke Ferdinand of Austria on 28th June 1914 was the first immediate cause for World War I. Okay, this is a 1 mark question. It will be asked for you as a bit or as a 1 mark question. So, put it in your brains now itself. What was the immediate cause of World War I? Murder of Archduke Ferdinand of Austria on 28th June 1914. This great man is the man whose death became the cause of First World War. Archduke Ferdinand went to Serbia for an official visit, Nana, and he along with his wife was killed by Serbian fanatic. Immediately, Austria declared a war on Serbia. Now, Serbia was supported by France, Britain and Russia, and Austria was supported by Germany and Italy. So, with that what happened? All the countries directly or indirectly participated in the war and World War I took place. Now, you would like to know why this Archduke Ferdinand was killed by this Serbian fanatic. దీనికి ఒక చిన్న కథ ఉందమ్మా. Serbia was under the suppression of Ottoman king. He was a Muslim king, right? He was a Muslim king and he used to harass the Serbians a lot. Slowly, Serbian people went against the Ottoman king and 2 wars have happened. That is Balkan War I and Balkan War II. So, somehow the Serbians have won that war. And when they won this war, they started to lead a life peacefully. Then this Archduke Ferdinand told that Serbia is a part of Austria. So you have to listen to my words, my terms and conditions. So people got agitated. Till now we were under the suppression of that man. Now this man has come to again suppress us. So one of the Serbian nationalists, you can say not fanatic, he is a nationalist. He loved his country. So he took the chance to kill the Duke and he murdered him along with his wife. So this was the reason why Archduke Ferdinand was killed. Okay. Now let us see a few interesting things. He is Archduke Ferdinand. This is the image of the Serbian fanatic shooting him. See, here you can see the Serbian fanatic shooting him. Okay. This is the man who killed him. This is the man who killed him. And this is the newspaper article in those days which was issued after this man's death. Okay, Nana? Now let us go further. Immediate cause for World War II. Let us see what is the immediate cause for World War II. Hitler's attack on Poland on September 1931, September 1st, 1939, was the immediate cause for World War II. He is Hitler. He invaded Poland as a punishment to Poland for refusing to hand over the port of Danzig to Germany. Germans asked Poland to hand over the port called Danzig to them, but Poland did not accept. Okay, so immediately he waged a war on Poland. Actually, Polish territory lay between two parts of Germany, East Germany and West Germany. East Germany is Poland, and Germany was divided into two parts during the Treaty of Versailles. Okay. So Hitler always had this feeling that Poland is a part of Germany. అంటే మా భూభాగంలోది అది కూడా ఒక భాగమే. So why should I leave it? He used to always have this feeling. So someday he always had that intention of occupying Poland and make Germany again a big country. Okay. So when he attacked Poland, he just thought that it would be a small issue. And nothing to worry, we can occupy Poland. So slowly Poland will come into our territory and everything will be fine. But Poland got the support of Britain. And exactly after one day, France again supported Poland. So obviously again these two powers supported Poland and the World War I-II took place. World War II took place. So thus started the World War II. See, here is the newspaper article. Germans invade and bomb Poland, and Britain mobilizes its troops. So, like that, Poland got the support of Britain and France, and thus started the Second World War, the biggest wars in the world. So, these were the two immediate causes of World War I and World War II. Now, both the wars are happened, Anna. Now, let us see few images after war. See, of the countries are simply spoiled. See, all the buildings and everything just onto the ground. See, these are the images of world after the World War II. And this is the image of the atomic bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And this is an image of the various survivors of this atom bomb. These people survived, means they would have been very small babies at the time of the war. Now in the next video we are going to know about the causes. We have completed causes of both the wars. Now we are going to see the consequences. See, I have given you a brief introduction of the consequences in image form. Okay, you will have it in a lesson form in your next video. So have a nice day, stay safe, stay home, and please read your textbook. Okay, thank you very much, Nana.